can read books until I'm dead, okay? But right now, these mega knees are not gonna last forever. I have to use them to the best of my ability as much as possible. Growing up with strict immigrant parents is honestly the best thing that could have ever happened to me, and I'm so glad I experienced that. There are literally so many benefits. There are so many benefits to growing up with strict immigrant parents. Like, first off, hi, my name is Furley. Welcome to the channel of the girl who yaps, amongst other things, but for this video specifically, I am yapping. Please, 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 if at any point in this video you catch yourself giggling, smiling, and or experiencing any sort of joy, hit that like button. Matter of fact, go even crazier, hit the subscribe button. Comment on it, girlie. Help me build my channel, like, you know, like build the engagement, you know what I mean? I will reply back. I will reply back. But anyway, back to the strict parents, okay? So I grew up with strict Haitian immigrant parents, okay? And I like to call them like fresh off the boat Haitians. And what I mean when I say fresh off the boat Haitians, I mean like they're in America, but they like have not been Americanized yet. They are still very much in their old ways, okay? Like, so there's like a Haitian saying that's called l'école, la caille, l'église, which means school, home, church, which means those are the only three places you are ever allowed to be. There is nowhere else you are ever permitted to be. Understand? You know what I mean? Like that's how like the strict Haitian parents would raise their kids. That's how my parents raised me, right? Which, side note, one thing I didn't understand with the way that they raised me is the fact that like, oh, they raised me like this because they were Haitian, but I had a god sister who would literally come to visit every summer who was being raised in Haiti, and the story she would tell me is like, oh, I'm going here, I'm going out here, I'm doing these things, and I'm just like, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean you're just out? What do you mean you're just out of the house living life? What are you talking about? She seemed a lot more free than me, but she was living in Haiti. Not the point. Not the point. Okay. But yeah, I was not allowed out of the house if it wasn't for school purposes or church purposes, right? But it wasn't just that. My parents wanted to take it a little bit further than that. And my mom would freak out if I had a phone call. Remember when we had like landlines and people could just like call your house? Yeah. So I remember giving a friend from school my house phone number once, and she was like, don't you ever in your life do that. So yeah, she wouldn't let me talk to friends. We would go to my aunt's house and finally there would be like children around. So I'm like, okay, finally, like there are people who are like my age who I can just like, you know, have fun and just like play around with. Every time we went over there, she was like, Shita, sit down, sit down. Like she would barely let me play with my cousins. So I couldn't go anywhere or talk to anyone outside of school. My older brother was much older than me, so he was like already in college, and her and my dad worked a lot. So I was literally just like, hi, anyone? Is anybody there? No? Okay. Which is also why for a really long time I stopped trusting my older brother, because like I had gotten like a Facebook account, right? I had gotten a Facebook account because I was like, this is like the only way I could talk to like my friends, the only way I could talk to my classmates without my parents knowing. Like I could just like log on and then like log off, like, you know, and it's totally fine, right? But then my freaking older brother comes to my house. He's like either in college or out of college at this time, but he freaking comes to the house and he goes to my parents and he's just like, do you know that she's on Facebook? That's not okay. That's not acceptable. And they made me delete my Facebook account. They made me delete the only thing I had. The only thing I had. So I was like, you know what? I made another Facebook account under a fake name, and the very first person I blocked was my brother. I blocked him. I blocked like all of his friends. I blocked my entire family. I went to like one of my uncles and I went to his entire friend list and I put block, 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 block. Family members that were living in Haiti that I probably would never run into in my life. Block, block. Family members living in Canada and Italy. Block, 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 block.
Cue the drum roll. All right, open your boxes. Open your boxes. 1, 2, 3.
Block, block, block. Everybody's getting blocked except for the people I went to school with, but everybody else is getting blocked. Like I was like, I'm determined. Let me have something, please. But yeah, like I didn't even have a phone. I didn't have an ability to like communicate with my classmates. Like I would come to school and they would talk about like what they did for the weekend, and I would just sit there and be like, oh my god, that sounds so funny, right? Really? Oh, you went where? Oh, the movie. Oh wow, that sounds really fun. Yeah, this sounds great. It sounds no jealous. What, me? No, absolutely not. That sounds. I'm happy for you. I'm so happy for you. Like my entire life was literally that one like Squidward meme where like, you know, like Squidward's like literally like staring out the window at SpongeBob and Patrick like. That was me like seeing my friends' Snapchat stories or like seeing their Facebook posts, or like when they would come to school and like show us videos and pictures of like, oh god, I was so jealous. Like, dude, like, do you understand? Like, you guys know how you felt? Like, let me put you in my position. Like, remember how you felt during COVID? Locked indoors, you're locked. You can't go out. You know what I mean? You're isolated. Like that was me. Like that was me every day of my freaking life. And those years of isolation really taught me how to disassociate. Like I was disassociating off the freaking charts. I was constantly in my imagination, constantly thinking of living in a different life. Like I was reading so many books, especially fantasy books. I was like, no, because I need to be living somebody else's life right now. Like I can't like you can't tell me this is me. And that's also when I started to like talk to myself a lot more. Like I started to just like talk to myself because I was like, I need to fill the silence. Like I need somebody here. Because my parents were also like always working. So I was constantly alone. So all I had were books and TV and movies and my own imagination. Okay, like that's all I freaking had, especially as an extrovert, which makes it so much worse because I was like, I need humans. I need people to communicate with. Oh, and for anyone who's gonna be like, wait, I thought strict parents made for the sneakiest kids, and you're telling us that like your parents were never home. Why did you never sneak out? Like, why did you never leave? Like, why did you never whatever? Because my mom was very successful in instilling the fear of God in me, okay? My mom had been like, listen, I don't care if I'm not there. I don't care if your dad's not there. God will always be there watching you. So if there's anything that you want to do that you think we're not going to see, God will see. And I was like, noted. Okay, noted. So even when the cage doors were a little loose, I wouldn't dare. I would not dare leave them, except for the time that I ran away when I was 8 years old. But that's a completely different story. Like, we do not have to get into that right now.
But wait, Furley, I thought you were saying that growing up with strict parents is a good thing. Like, why? I feel like you're not really telling us any of the benefits of growing up with strict parents. Like, where are the benefits? What are the benefits?
Well, dear, one thing that growing up with really strict parents is great at doing, it's at making you extremely determined to get the heck up out of there, okay? Like, when I tell you, first of all, I was so active in my community. So my parents were like, you only have church and school. And I said, bet. I was so active in church. I did everything. I was constantly like just community. I was always doing stuff in church. Like I was constantly working with the church, right? With school, when I graduated, I had so many cords when I graduated high school because I was joining every club that would let me in. I was joining any club that would let me in because I did not want to go back home. I became so ambitious. It made me so ambitious. It made me so independent. Like, you know, like a lot of kids who grew up with strict parents like know this concept where it's like you shouldn't be asking for permission. It's better to instead ask for forgiveness. Yeah, that's how I lived my life. I was like, I'm just going to be extremely independent, handle as much as I can by myself without having to ask them for anything, so that like if I'm like, I'm gonna go do this thing and they're just like, you can't, I'm gonna be like, sorry, I already paid for it, I'm going. Like when I was in elementary, middle school, all throughout high school, I was just like, one of these days I'm gonna go to college. One of these days I'm gonna go to college, and I'm gonna go to a college far away. I'm gonna go to a college far away. And that's when my life will start. My life will begin when I go to college. And can you believe they almost kept me from going? I was like, I'm not gonna go to college in Miami. But I had started going to college in Miami. I was like, so they thought I was just gonna stay here. But no, I actually got accepted to another college that was like a couple of hours away in Tampa. And I was like, literally making all the preparations. I was like saving up money for my job. I got an apartment. I got a job there. I was doing all of this stuff without anybody knowing. And then maybe like 2-3 weeks before I left, I was like, oh, by the way, like I'm going to Tampa. Like I'm like moving there. Like I'm going to school there, you know? And when I tell you like they didn't believe me, they were like, no, like
oh no.
And I'm like, yeah, I am. And they tried to stop me. They tried to literally stop me from going. I'm like, listen, come hell or high water. I don't care if I have to run away right now until the day comes, until it's like orientation day, until it's the day that I have to go. I will do it. You are not going to stop me. You know what I mean? I was so determined. I was like, I'm leaving. I'm going away. I got so determined to do that, right? It made me such a determined person, such an ambitious person. I was like so determined to just like leave. And then like even when I got to college, I did join like a tiny little religious cult while I was there, so that did kind of like stifle some of my independence for a bit. But even then I was like, listen, I don't care. I want to travel the world. I flew all the way over to South Korea and I studied abroad. I was like, oh my God, because another thing that my upbringing did to me is it made me like so thirsty to just experience life, you know? Like I was just like, as a child, I had to watch everybody else do it, so now I finally have the chance to do it myself. So I was like going to Korea and stuff like that, and like literally when I was in Korea, I did not sleep. I did not sleep a wink. I was like, I want to be up all night, up all day. I want to be over here. I want to be over there. I'm a yes man. It's like, Furley, do you want to? Yes. Yes. I want to. Like I became like a person who genuinely was just like, I am so thirsty. It made me have such a zest for life, you know what I mean? And like I just like appreciate so many of the things that other people might take for granted. I appreciate so much. Things like just like hanging out with your friends, you know? Like people hang out with their friends and they're like, yeah, I've been hanging out with my friends my whole life. It's not that big of a deal. But me, I swear to you, like I was in college and I remember being like out with friends and I remember like looking around and being like, wow, I'm like out with friends right now. No. Look around. Mommy? Daddy? Oh, they're not around. It's just me and my friends, just me and my pals. I love it. Like I was obsessed. I was so happy just hanging out with people. Like people were probably just like, oh yeah, like we're just vibing, like we're just eating. And I'm just like, no, we're experiencing life together, guys. That's a beautiful thing. Like I loved everything from going to the mall to going to the movies. I thought everything was beautiful. I thought life was just great. Just being out, you know what I mean? Like just that's why like now whenever I see people post things like, oh, your idea of a fun weekend is just being out and clubbing and drinking and whatever. Whereas my idea is reading a good book and, you know, putting on a candle or whatever. I'm like, nah, you're right.
I've been suffering. I suffered for 19 years. It's time for me to shake my ass on a yacht. In a phone.
Yeah, my idea of a fun weekend is the former. It is the former because being out is great. It makes me feel alive. I can read books until I'm 90. I can read books until I'm dead, okay? But right now, these mega knees are not gonna last forever. I have to use them to the best of my ability as much as possible. Listen, oh my God, I just love living. I just love doing things. I just love just breathing. Like literally, like I'll be out and I'd just be like, wow, the sun, like, who would have thought it shined that brightly? It's beautiful. Like, oh, you're not supposed to look at it? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. It's pretty though. Oh. Like every little thing about life, about living life excites me so much. Like I was literally hit by a car, not too hard. Like it was like a light tap or whatever. And like I was hit by the car and I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't even have that on my bucket list. That was not even on my bucket list, but I'm about to put it on my bucket list just to check it off. I just experienced life. Check, you know? And it's like everything is so fun and everything is so awesome. Everything is just like so amazing, especially when I'm out. Which is why like especially right now, like I don't have like a car. Like I live in a place that's like not walkable and I don't have a car. So I'm like I still like feel like that oh my gosh, home is prison. I hate being home. I hate it. I want to leave. I'm trapped. So I just know that like that one day when I like get a car, you know what I mean? I'm like gonna be in that girl. I'm gonna be driving everywhere. Like to hell with gas money. I'm gonna be driving to just the other side of town just to see what it looks like. I'm gonna be like, I just want to just do that because I just love freedom. Like that is just like my whole thing. It's just like being with strict parents for so long made me learn to appreciate the freedoms of life so much more. And it just made me adventurous. Like I'm one of the only people amongst my friends who was just like dying to go skydiving. Like there's so many things that I just want to experience and I want to do because like as a child, all I could do was just imagine and dream and just think about like what it would be like to live life. And now I'm actually doing it. And every aspect of it is so beautiful to me. So whenever I'm out, I'm like, wow, I'm so happy that I'm out. You know what I mean? Like I will literally be tired, like sleepy, and I'm just like, I don't want to go home yet. Wait until I'm actually dead. Like I don't want to go home. Please wait. Everything in life is just so fun, and everything in life is so beautiful, and I'm like trying to learn more languages because I want to be able to talk to more people and just. God, like my zest for life is just insane. And I really think the strict parents kind of push that. Maybe that would have always been my personality, but I feel like growing up with strict parents just like boosted it. Like they boosted my just passion for like life and for just doing things, you know? It's also why like even when I'm out, even when I'm in an area where people like aren't having fun, I'm like determined to always have fun. Like my high school prom, like a lot of people just like show up to prom. Like some people like show up to prom just to be like, oh yeah, like we're at prom. Like it's kind of like we like had the really nice dresses and we're like gonna show up, but like it's all about the after party or whatever. I was not allowed to go to any after party, but I was allowed to go to prom, okay? And so I literally was like, I'm going to make the best of it. I danced all night to the point where my feet were aching. I was dancing with literally every person that I had ever talked to in the hallway. Like I was just so obsessed with just living. And then even like now when I go clubbing and stuff like that, right? Everyone's always like, oh my God, the club is so dead now. It's so dead. But I feel like a lot of times like my friends will tell me like it's extremely fun to go out with me and to go clubbing with me. And I think that's because when I go clubbing, I am so determined to have a blast. Like I will dance however, I will dance crazy. I will like see if I could form a dance circle, a conga line, anything. I am determined to make this such a fun time for not just me, but everyone around me. I want us to just like be like, I just want us to be like, this sounds so corny, but like, I don't care, like enjoying life, you know? Like, it just makes me so much more open to just having as much fun when I'm out just doing things. But I genuinely feel like my strict parents brought me to that point. It's kind of like that thing they tell you where it's like, even the bad things you experience in life, like it leads to some good in the future. Like I feel like that was that. Like for me, like as a kid, I was like, this feels suffocating. Like I was like crying constantly because of it. I was like, this sucks, this is horrible. But then I was just like, oh my gosh, like why am I obsessed with just like everything? Like why does everything make me happy? Like why does like this little, the way the birds do this and the way why does everything seem so exciting to me? And I'm like, strict parents, like yeah. So it's like, honestly, like I love my parents, I do. Like like parents, if you see this, please don't see this. But if you do see this, like I love you to death. I still love you guys to death, and I genuinely feel like they were just doing what they thought was best to like make sure I didn't die. Like they were just being like super protective to make sure I was like okay. Like so they were like overprotective. But I think I've already talked to my mom and I've already been like, yeah, listen, I'm not gonna raise your grandchild like this. So if you come over and you hear her like, okay, mom, bye, I'm going to that sleepover. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want no, I'm gonna let my child, I'm gonna let my child live. I'm gonna let my child live, okay? But yeah, that's all I have to say for now. If you like this video, make sure to like this video. If you are like, man, I just like this girl, like I just like her vibe. If you liked me, subscribe so you can see more of me. Like I'm about to be posting so many videos. You're about to be like, oh my God, I'm sick of you, girl. I'm sick of you. You're posting too much. It's about to be me, trust me. You're gonna hate me. I love it. So yeah, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. The great thing about my channel still being pretty small right now is that I can still probably reply to every single comment. So comment down below, babes. And don't forget to follow me on TikTok and Instagram. And if you're here from TikTok, don't forget to be like, oh my God, like I'm here from TikTok. You know what I mean? But yeah, like put that down below. I love you guys. Go live life. Go be happy. Go be beautiful. Ah! Bye.